So I found my grandma on the floor when she was in her 80s. And I had just left her house maybe 7 hours ago. And she said, "Drive safe, sweetie." I said, I will. I'll come back in the morning and check on you. And just when I did that, I ended up having to call 911 and have her taken to the hospital right away. Unfortunately, she suffered from a broken arm, amongst other things. And that was the last she saw her house. The reason I do this, the reason I am a real estate agent that specializes working with seniors, is because of that memory, of that moment. And listening to the doctors tell her that I sat in over and over, "Joanne, you're probably not too safe to go back home. We're worried about you. You have stairs. You probably have a lot of rugs we need to move. How are you getting around very well?" But the one thing I never saw him do was hand my mom a piece of paper or share with her who to call, the steps on how to alleviate her fears, her worries, and her doubts about doing that. See, she wanted to stay at her house. Well, who doesn't? And it was so important for her to stay in place. Age in place is what it's called. Well, so we set out to try and do that for her, which was so costly. And she lived in a beautiful home. And the moment that we ran through those funds and were getting slim on them was one of the moments that we ended up realizing that we don't have a choice. We're going to have to figure something out. Well, she was forced into a situation now because of her condition. And I wish so much that I could talk to her and tell her, "Listen, Grands, I know how we can work through this together. We can go through your items line by line. We can sell them online. Yes, we can sell items online. Did you know that it's so easy? Or we can have a wonderful estate sale." These solutions that I now provide for all of my clients come because I care so deeply. And the reason I care not only is because of what I felt and went through with my sweet grands, but also because my background is in geriatrics. So I worked in geriatrics, I guess in the senior community, for a very long time. For 15 years, in fact. And I worked in more of the home health and hospice arena. So I met with the doctor's offices, the assisted livings, I met with the nursing home facilities, and I heard a lot that went on when it came to this. So it's really quite funny that I am here now doing this and sharing my story with you, because this is a preventative measure that we can take together. And I can sit down with you, I can sit down with your daughter or your son or your brother or your sister, mom or dad, whoever it is, and I can share my story as to why I feel so deeply about the preventative measures it takes in order to be in a more comfortable space, a safer space, a single level space. And so that's when you should ask yourself, do you have stairs? Have you been told before you might not be safe to go home? Have you had these people ask you these questions? Are you worried? Do you feel alone? You shouldn't. You shouldn't at all. I want you to know that I will go and sit with you and I will share with you all the things that we can do together to get you in the right space.